The next practice that we will demonstrate comes from the work of polarity therapy, and it's especially effective for people who block a lot of energy in their throat, their head, and their upper chest area. And I like to call these the polarity head and throat points. And often with trauma, especially with women, there's a whole blockage of energy, either pain or stuck energy in the throat. And you can see this from just the quality of energy in the voice. We're going to use polarity fingers. And in the system of polarity, just like batteries, we have a negative pole and a positive pole. So the fingers, the polarity fingers are, index finger is a negative finger, middle finger is a positive finger, ring finger is negative, and small finger is positive, the thumb is neutral. And if you put a negative and a positive pole together, in this case an index and a middle finger together, you end up getting energy or electrical current moving across the arc of those two poles. So we're going to do this now, working first with points across the head, across the eyebrow, and also at the base of the skull. And we'll work with points in the throat and also behind the neck. And I'm going to ask Leslie to remove her glasses because it's a little more difficult to do this if a person has glasses on. And we'll move to the left side of the person first, but to demonstrate this, I'll work from the other side. In this case, we'll use the negative finger in front, the index finger, and the positive finger behind the head of Leslie. And you'll place the negative finger in the first position, right where the eyebrow starts, touching very gently. And the positive finger will go, and I'll demonstrate this on myself, slightly to the side of center of the base of the skull. And we'll be holding 3 different points at the base of the skull. 1, moving over an inch, a second point, and right at the edge of the base of the skull, the 3rd point. And in the front, we'll be holding 3 points right where the eyebrow starts, at the arch of the eyebrow, and at the side of the eyebrow. So to start this practice, I'll rub my hands together to just generate the energy, taking my right index finger and placing it right where Leslie's eyebrow starts. My middle finger will go on the same side, slightly to the side of the center of the base of the skull. As you hold these 2 points, often you feel pulsing, because through the head run the different channels or meridians of energy. And gradually, after holding these 2 points for about a minute or 2, the pulses become calm and strong and regular. And after another moment, we'll release these 2 points. If your fingers are buzzing, just shake off. We'll now hold right at the arch of the eyebrow, and the other middle finger will hold an inch over, moving closer towards the ear at the base of the skull. In the same way, you'll feel pulsing often, and then gradually the pulses become calm and steady. Releasing those 2 points and clearing. And then the index finger will move right to the side of the eyebrow. The middle finger will hold right at the side of the base of the skull. So I'll hold right at the side of Leslie's eyebrow. My middle finger will hold behind the earlobe, about an inch or so over, in the indentation right at the edge of the base of the skull. And usually these 2 points are quite powerful with strong pulses in both areas. And you'll hold those 2 points for a few moments. If a person starts falling asleep, you just try to brace their body so they don't fall off the chair. Sometimes we need seat belts when we're holding points. And then gently release the 2 points. And the finishing hold for this side of the head is hands together, just gently holding the side of the head. And it feels like it just is such a comforting finishing hold. It feels like energy is just moving right into the mind, into the spirit, calming the brain, calming the body. And you'll hold that for a brief time, and then very, very gently release. If you're working with a person, you would do this very same thing on the other side of the body and reverse the hands. So if I were working on Leslie's left side, I'll use my left index finger in combination with the right middle finger and move across the eyebrow, move across the points at the base of the skull, and then again finish that part with the hands holding the side of the head. And gently release. Okay. You can do just this practice by itself or add it into a bodywork session or a massage. And then I'd like to also demonstrate the throat points. And in this case, we're going to move energy crisscrossing through the throat and neck area. And I always like to say it's great to try this first on yourself before touching another person. Taking an index finger, holding the index finger under the jaw, and you don't want to press firmly under the jaw into the throat area. It doesn't feel good. It feels like you're being strangled. Holding very lightly or even off the body. And then we're going to work on the opposite side with the middle finger right under the occipital ridge, under the base of the skull. So it's like we're beaming energy right through the throat area. So in the case of Leslie, I will first put my left index finger right under her jaw area, and the middle finger will go on the opposite side under the occipital ridge. And you'll hold this position for several minutes, or as long as it feels comfortable. And we'll do a second series of points, one point at the base of the front of the throat, and the middle finger will hold at the base of the back of the neck. And again, crisscrossing energy through the throat and the whole tissues that form the throat and the neck. This is excellent if somebody has swollen glands or painful tonsils or a sore neck. And you can also do this very nicely on yourself. And after a few moments, release. We'll do the very same thing on the other side, this time using the right index finger in combination with the left middle, right under the jaw area for a minute or two, and then dropping to the base of the front of the throat and the base of the rear of the neck for another minute or two. And you can do 3 or 4 points if you have a lot of time and a person has a really sore throat or a sore neck. Gently release. Okay. And then to the finishing hold with the polarity points would be like a little cuff or a collar of energy, running energy right through the throat, neck tissues. And then gently releasing. And just as we do for most body work, brushing the person off. And if they're falling asleep, just winding them up clockwise to wake them up in this hemisphere, or if you want to calm them down, anti-clockwise. Disconnecting, and don't forget to clear yourself, shaking off or touching the floor. Some way to always have good personal self-care as you do body work with another person.